It's now down to the 30 players starting this match. Will it be Kilkenny's 30th All-Ireland and 2 in a row? Or will Limerick come and win their 8th? First since 1973. Kilkenny won the toss. They'll play from left to right in the first half, which means that PJ Ryan, good that he has recovered sufficiently from that hand injury to be able to take his place, play in his first final. He will be down near the Duneen end, Hill 16. Diarmuid Kerwin was in charge of the league final between these teams last year. That was won by Kilkenny. They're the favourites here as well. No clean possession from the throw-in, but finally there's an opportunity for Kilkenny to break away here. Tommy Walsh has decided to discard the red helmet right from the off, sending it up there towards Eddie Brennan. Possession and pressure on Seamus Hickey. He's fouled. It could be a tough physical battle, this one. Let's hope there's loads and loads of skill as well, and the referee will have a very central role to play. Free to be taken by Brian Geary. 30th championship match this afternoon, running repairs by the goalkeeper. Henry Shefflin and Martin Comerford have switched positions. Sun in the eyes of the Kilkenny backs for the opening half. In towards Brian Begley, and that ball going to the left. Well, they'll have to use possession a lot more prudently than that, you would feel.
Yeah.
He'll have a plan hatched, that you can be certain of.
Kilkenny, you know, homework done. Willie Dwyer on Mark Foley, Eddie Brennan got into the corner, and Comerford and Shefflin switched, as you say, but they'll keep moving around all day.
And it'll be interesting to see just how Limerick approach their defensive work. Here's Peter Lawler. He excelled when these teams met in the championship of the quarter-final stage 2 years ago. Ollie Moran's had a great year. Out towards Andrew O'Shaughnessy. It'll be interesting to see if JJ Delaney picks him up. It might just be a switch that they might consider. That's whipped away by JJ Delaney that time. Into the corner. Up towards Aidan Fogarty. Stolen away from him. Henry Shefflin tries to get the ball back. Won by Stephen Lucy. Limerick's fullback, darting away from the challenges. Damien Rail with a bit of work to do. Trips. Referee says play on. Kilkenny do. Martin Comerford was trying to get it. So too was Aidan Fogarty. And in the end, the referee saw a foul. And it's going to be a free into Kilkenny and a chance for them to get the first point on the boards after just 2 minutes of play. Well, now this is a significant moment for Henry Shefflin, because he's already scored 18 goals, 295 points. Now the point is, if he puts this over the bar, it's his 350th. You've seen a little piece of history. First point of the match, and a championship notable point for Henry Shefflin. Second highest scorer in the championship of all time. Brian Murray ready to puck it out. His dad Terence, of course, refereed 2 All-Ireland finals. Sent towards Sean O'Connor, but won again here by Tommy Welch. 2 balls that he's won so far. Sent across towards Owen Larkin, spills, then regains, taking on his man. 45 metres out, Larkin, steady, assured, and he's become a much more consistent player this year. Good score by Owen Larkin, and the first 2 points go to Kilkenny.
Yeah, and Jerry, that's the strength of Kilkenny. You know, they're so big in the half-forward, and Tommy Walsh, great catch, and a high ball in. They can play it in high, play it in low, and you know, they have the height in the forward line to win the ball. And you see how far out their half-forward line they're playing. They're way out past midfield, leaving loads of room inside.
And again, this is picked up here by JJ Delaney. That's a couple of balls he's picked up now. In towards Henry Shefflin. Lucy there to win the battle if he can. He's got a knock to the face. This is while he's wearing that face guard. Stephen Lucy, who's a doctor in Limerick City. And you can see, telling the referee there was a Hurley used across on top of him that time, and a temporary substitution may be required. Yeah, there was indeed. It was Eddie Brennan.
Yeah, Eddie was high with the elbow there, and but the fair, Lucy is not a player that goes down easily, and he got a high knock to the face. Eddie is looking at him getting the yellow card.
The butt of the Hurley was quite close to his face when he met that.
Yeah, well, it's what Lucy does when he wins possession. He ducks down and drives out the ball, and Kilkenny obviously looked at that, and Eddie met him there square on coming out.
Dave Boylan, the doctor, out there along with Barry Heffernan, who's the physio, tending to the injured Stephen Lucy. Well, he's going to have to go off perhaps and get a stitch on that one, so it may mean a temporary sub coming in, And the player who's going to come in for them is number 26, Mark O'Riordan.
Yeah, they want to get him back on, Ger, because, you know, Lucy has done fierce well. He's won the first 2 high balls, but, you know, while he's off there now, Geary will go back full back, but they want to get him back on as quick as possible. He started very well.
Brian Murray with the free. Big one all the way in towards Ollie Moore and trying to break it, but it's the eagerness of Kilkenny again, and Tommy Welsh coming out with it. Stopped this time in his tracks. Shawny O'Connor trying to get in, and he was fouled. Combination of players bringing him down. Chaffetz Patrick was one of them, and Derek Ling was the other. And the Limerick fans just waiting for the first score for their team. Andrew O'Shaughnessy coming over to take this. And Stephen Lucy's back on, so Mark O'Riordan making his way off. He was only on for, I suppose, 60 seconds. Andrew O'Shaughnessy now. Left-handed strike, as we know. Oh, he's dropped it short. Should have put it over the bar. Didn't look too confident hitting that one, and the goalkeeper didn't look too confident and needed Jackie Tyrrell. Ploughing his way out past Donny Ryan. Out as far as Brian Hogan. Got a great point in the Leinster final. But now it's all about defending this afternoon. This is into Henry Shefflin. This looks dangerous. Looking for a support player. Not the best of passes back. Fogarty was coming onto it, and I think he was looking instead for Owen Larkin. But it's Donal O'Grady who gets it away for Limerick. Out to his left-hand side. Mike O'Brien. Whipping it away down. Aimed towards Begley, and Donny Ryan runs in there instead towards Noel Hickey. It'll be interesting to see just how recovered he is from the hamstring injury. He's been undergoing the treatment in recent weeks. Again, this is Brian Geary. Back to Stephen Lucy. Down towards O'Shaughnessy's corner once again. Being marked by Jackie Tyrrell. And the referee has blown his whistle as they played away for a moment. Free to Kilkenny.
Yeah, great catch here by Tyrrell, going back towards his own goals, but just back to O'Shaughnessy's free there. You know, I was just going to say it, Ger, before he took it, they look easy, but when the pressure's on, you know, it's an awkward one, 45-50 yards out, and you know the nerves got to him. You'd even see him taking a drink of water before he took it, and Limerick need to settle, because Kilkenny have settled straight into their stride.
And Kilkenny made no changes at the back, didn't switch JJ Delaney and Tyrrell around to face the threat of Andrew O'Shaughnessy. They're perfectly happy that Tyrrell can mark him. Right now it's Peter Lawler getting the ball away. Inside here to Mike Fitzgerald. He's had a good campaign so far. The 20-year-old Garda overhit this one, wasted possession, and that's another one that's gone astray. First one was from a free that was overhit. This one overplayed by Mike Fitzgerald. Not really giving a chance to the inside forwards to become active.
Oh, you need to get the ball in front of Donny Ryan, and here's Donny moving way out the field now. Kilkenny back to their sharp puck out.
Straight to Jackie Tyrrell. Not for the first time in this year's championship. They go with that short puck out. All the way in towards Eddie Brennan. Breaks towards Henry Shefflin. Limerick backs there. Stephen Lucy holding on to it. A commanding figure. Over the sideline. Line ball to Kilkenny. So this is going to be Cha Fitzpatrick who will cut this ball up. Student teacher. Referee wanting a word or two with a couple of players. One of them, Mike O'Brien. Cha makes a good connection this time. Well cut up. Safely taken in here. Dangerous moment as Eddie Brennan lets fly! And Eddie Brennan gets the first goal of the game in the 9th minute. He really is a goal king. You remember the two he got against Galway in the very last 10 minutes of that match. What a good start here. Kilkenny making the perfect start to the All-Ireland final. It was all about Eddie Brennan. It was all about getting by Seamus Hickey. And he rifled it way into the corner. And Brian Murray had no chance. 1-2 to no score. Dream start for the favourites. The champions in command. Ollie Moore trying to win it, but it comes back instead here to Cha Fitzpatrick. Getting it away up towards Henry Shefflin. They're in another dangerous situation. Henry hand passes it to the back of the net, and there's another goal. Just a minute after Eddie Brennan's goal, Henry Shefflin rose in with another.
Jerry's lethal. Look, he's just in behind here. And a brilliant catch over Stephen Lucy. He's a big man as well. He's 6'3" or 4". And he obviously just flicked it in there. Another player wouldn't have had the vision. You can't obviously hand pass it in. He just got to hurl up and flicked it into the net.
And immediately you fear for Limerick's chances in this final.
Yeah, two brilliant goals. Eddie Brennan's finish was just exemplary. But Tommy Walsh and JJ Delaney are just dominating in the half-back positions.
And again, there's pressure on the Limerick backs. This time it's Aidan Fogarty. Looking for another sterling performance this afternoon. Back once again it comes. Again they steal forward to Owen Larkin. And Larkin sees this one come off the post and over the bar. A second point for Owen Larkin. So the half-forward line that started out notionally 10, 11 and 12 have been getting all of the scores so far. That off the post and over. Just 5 attacks so far and 5 scores for Kilkenny. How much more ominous could that be for Limerick's challenge? That's caught there by Sean O'Connor. They need players to step up to the mark now to overcome the fear and the nerves. Mike Fitzgerald, Ollie Moran, they need a score. That's a poor effort, however, in towards Begley. Hickey going down, taking it. Everybody waiting for it. No referee's whistle. I thought he might throw the ball in a few seconds ago. He's got to do so now. Well, that Ollie Moran shot there, they really needed it to put over the bar, get a score.
Yeah, well, hurling is a funny game, you know, get a couple of scores and settle down and get back into it. But, the occasion, we've talked about it beforehand, Kilkenny are taskmasters and Limerick just need a couple of scores to settle them now.
Again, it's taken out by JJ Delaney, former hurler of the year in 2004. Down towards Aidan Fogarty, caught here this time by Stephen Lucy. Into the centre to Brian Geary. He's having a go all the way in. Donny Ryan's watching it, but the keeper's watching it as well. No hint of an injury there by PJ Ryan as he deflected it away out over the sideline. Well, this is a goalkeeper who has 3 All-Ireland medals so far, and Richie Bennis, who has one from 1973. Now he has seen his team have the most miserable start to the All-Ireland final.
Yeah, and it's obvious that Kilkenny, they targeted the full back line. They brought in Eddie Brennan and Shefflin straight from the start in there to go for goals and go for the jugular in the first 10-15 minutes in his work.
O'Shaughnessy going by Jackie Tyrrell. This time he was held. Kilkenny were a little bit slow in spotting the run of O'Shaughnessy towards the sideline taker. And that's a ticking for Jackie Tyrrell. He's been noted. And this free on that right-hand side of the field might suit Andrew O'Shaughnessy a little bit better. Needs to put this over. 12 minutes are gone. Limerick need a score. Again, it's gone a bit short, but it's just about had the legs to make it over the bar. And finally, there's a Limerick score. It's something to cheer about. Well, they have in the past had some horrible first halves. They've had some great first halves as well, but you remember the second game against Tipperary down in Thurles.
Yeah,
10 behind at half-time.
Their tactic from the puckouts, I think, is very strange. They're leaving their 2 wing backs loose, Limerick are Peter Lawler and Mark Foley, and bringing their 2 midfielders back. So even if they get possession, Kilkenny are going to have extra men back at their end of the field, and it's going to be very hard to get scores against them.
Donny Ryan in there to challenge, and Donny's team get the decision. Michael Wadding from Waterford, the linesman on this near side.
Yeah, Ger, just to go back to that point, it's one thing to bring your midfielders back to play in front of your half-back line, but to bring them right back to mark the wing forwards and the wing backs to go behind them, it means when the ball breaks out, the Kilkenny midfielders are going to be onto the break straight away. So it's too negative a tactic in my book. You need to go and play on your merits and go and take them on, or otherwise they could get a hammer in here.
Well, we're watching out for that. Well, the Limerick fans looking for somebody to cheer about. Meanwhile, the Cats followers are very, very happy indeed. Noel Hickey clearing it to the centre of the park. Caught beautifully by Mark Foley. Letting it in high. Shaughnessy's in there. Tyrrell is tussling. Came off Tyrrell's hand towards Ollie Moran. Quick as you like. Good flashing shot, but it's put outside and it's wide. And that's a 3rd wide for Limerick. And Ollie Moran still looking for his first point in this match. Well, they've travelled with in huge numbers, with great faith, great expectation as well, needing something from their team. What can they conjure? What can they come up with? Broken down here by Brian Geary this time. Kicked on there by the Kilkenny half-forwards. Again, it's Mark Foley being dragged around the place, and that's going to be a free to Limerick. Protest there by Owen Larkin. Well, having made the perfect start, Kilkenny, will they drive on? Will they rest on their laurels a little bit? Will they allow Limerick a chance to gain a bit of superiority? Brian Geary to take this free. Just inside his own 45-metre line. All the way in towards Brian Begley, the big man going up for it, but again, unable to take it, and it's Tommy Walsh instead. Making a great start to this game. Into Donal O'Grady. Donal O'Grady driving it for the middle of the park, and Donal O'Grady this time puts it over the bar, showing the way, and that's Limerick's first point from play. It's taken a quarter of an hour, but they begin to eat into Kilkenny's advantage. 7 points the margin. Can they turn it around yet?
You know, good comeback, Jerry. You know, 9 points down, they've settled down, got the last 2 scores, and you know, just need to keep winning possession. Shefflin has changed out to the half hour now. Brilliant take.
And Shefflin in full flight again, letting it go, but that time to the right-hand side. It's a period in the game you feel will Kilkenny and Henry Shefflin will just want to consolidate. Perfect start, brilliant start indeed.
Yeah, and they see Limerick have moved Brian Begley out already from the edge of the square, out to wing forward, and you know, obviously to try to win some primary possession from the puckouts, but it's very early stages to be moving them from the edge of the square.
Ollie Moran touching it down, but the eagerness, the anticipation of Cha Fitzpatrick, who went back to help his halfbacks. He gives it, however, to Shawnee O'Connor, and Shawnee O'Connor puts it over the bar. Much better from Limerick. 3 in a row now for the Munster team. And Shawnee O'Connor, who had only about 20 minutes or so of the first game against Tipperary, went off with an injury, came back in the last couple of matches, and he's a very, very good player, and today he's got the stage to really show what he can do. PJ Ryan's puck out. Let's see now what Limerick will do here. Plenty of players back. Ball falls kindly for Seamus Hickey until the shoulder came in, and it hots up. Referee has blown his whistle. He's going to call across Brian Geary to have a word with him. I think the referee had made his mind up what he was going to do, and Geary must have said something.
Well, I think the ball was going out of play, and he just came in, you know, in over the line after the thing was given and hit Shefflin after the ball, and that's why he's calling him to one side.
So this could be the first yellow card of the match for the elbow.
Yeah, he was the third man in, you know, that's a rule they often talk about. He came in after the play, and you know, it may be a softish yellow card, but he has to watch himself now.
Well, he can't have any complaints. On his hands and knees there was Eddie Brennan, the goal scorer, the first of the goal scorers. Has it again, Eddie. Shorting the grip on the stick and putting it over the bar. Good lethal play by Eddie Brennan. He'd only scored 2 points in the last 4 finals that he'd played in, but a goal and a point this afternoon after 17 and a half minutes. 2-4 to 3 points.
Yeah, and Eddie was talking to a friend of mine during the week, Pat Cleary, the 2 guards, and he was saying they had to match Limerick's hunger, and you can certainly see it in Eddie's play since the start of the game. Now, Seamus Hickey has taken that inside the 21-yard line, strictly speaking a throw-in.
They got away with it. Kilkenny having gotten their first score in 8 minutes, battling again on the half back line. Ollie Moran looking for something special. He's got something special. A point for the number 11. So all of a sudden it's only a 6-point game. What a wonderful sport this is. You can be a good distance behind, and all of a sudden you're back in it, and back in it in a very meaningful way.
That's Ollie's third chance and a great score to settle down, and Limerick are settling down and are beginning to play some good stuff.
That's Henry Shefflin breaking it up there from Brian Geary, who's got to be careful now because he's got that yellow card. Owen Larkin prodding it ahead of Mark Foley. Foley going back, trying to stymie the half forward. Taken back, and the final shot is not such a good one. To the right of the target and well wide by Henry Shefflin. So Brian Murray playing today in his 12th championship match, having had a very productive year so far. Again towards JJ Delaney's wing. That's going to be a Limerick ball. Went off one of the Kilkenny sticks. fair amount of the ball has gone down JJ's wing so far. Okay, Shockness is down there as well, but there may be a feeling that JJ's not had the greatest of seasons. He started very well.
He started brilliantly. It'd be fair to say he hasn't had his best season by his standards, but he started first well today.
Here's Mike Fitzgerald back once again here, and that is another Ollie Moran with 2 in a row. Remember the 5 he got against Tipperary in one of the 3 matches. Took it here on his left-hand side, got there before the attempted block, straight up and over the bar, and only 5 between them. 2 points from 3 scores, or 3 attempts by Ollie Moran. That's back once again by Peter Lawler. Out over the sideline, however, and a line ball to Kilkenny.
Yeah, Ollie Moran has won a lot of ball there, and you know, Brian Hogan with John Tennyson on the line, he's going to have to tighten up because Tennyson is not going to be left on the line. Great
what
catch.
About
here.
This for a good catch.
Yeah, Peter Lawler, outstanding under 21 player, wasn't part of the panel last year, but Richie Bennett's got him back this year, and he's a super player and having a big game as well.
Fans are enjoying it a bit more now as JJ Delaney whips on this one in towards Martin Comerford, taken down by Peter Lawler once again. Comerford is protesting, he's been held, comes back out again, and that ball, easy as you like, put over the bar by Owen Larkin. 3 points for Owen Larkin. 3 out of 3 shots that he's taken so far.
And Ger, how do Kilkenny do this? You know, every year there's somebody, and I actually said in a newspaper article this morning, I thought Owen Larkin was due a huge game. He's been finding his feet over the last couple of years. Last year it was Aidan Fogarty. Here it is now, Owen Larkin, 3 points already after 20 minutes.
Oh, we've just been saying what a great catch that was by Peter Lawler. Well, now he's got really has got his hands full. JJ Delaney struggling to take that. It's Donald O'Grady instead. Inside towards Mike Fitzgerald, who's got into the inside forward line, and Noel Hickey has pulled up there. He's struggling. I don't think he's going to be able to continue as the ball is whipped across the face of goal and it's still in play. Hickey is in trouble with the injury. Out comes PJ Ryan, and I think Kilkenny are going to have to make a change immediately. They're on the attack once more here with Willie O'Dwyer. He's got a quiet opening. Seamus Hickey trying to get the ball away. He's pumped up. But straight away I noticed that Dr. Ty Crowley has got in down the other end of the field to have a look at Noel Hickey, and I don't think he's going to be able to play on.
No, Ger, he's gone, you know.
And John Tennyson will be the one who will come on for him. It takes a long time to recover from a hamstring injury. Just watch the way he was chasing Mike Fitzgerald, felt it immediately. His left leg pulled up there, tried to play on, impossible.
Yeah, it's an awful injury to have, Jerry. You can go okay in training, but when the pace is lifted at All-Ireland final day, if you have any twinge there at all, it's going to go. He had an outstanding start to the game. It's very sad for him. He's been brilliant since the start of the game, but Kilkenny were ready for Tennyson has been warming up since the start of the game. It just affects their options a little bit. You know, they'd love to have Tennyson maybe to go in centre back with half an hour to go. That option is gone now, so Brian Hogan has to steady up now and come to the fore more, and Tennyson will go in at full back.
That is a very big loss, because Brian Cody would hardly have taken a chance on Noel Hickey in the first place if he didn't realise his importance to the team. Bit of a gamble, hasn't come off.
Hickey, Tommy Walsh, Shefflin and Martin Comfort, they're the 4, and Cha Fitzpatrick, they're the key men for Kilkenny, and he's probably in All-Ireland finals over the last 6-7 years, he's been the outstanding player, and now he's gone. Tennyson will probably go to centre back, and Hogan plays full back with O'Loughlin Gales. That's his more natural position, so Tennyson will be happier at centre back.
Okay, so John Tennyson comes on for Kilkenny, coming on to play in his 13th championship match. A lot of people felt he should have been on from the very beginning in Kilkenny. This is going to be a free for Brian Geary. We've lost a minute or 2 there, which will be added on at the end of the 35. Brian Geary to take this, miss-hit it. Tony Ryan coming out to try and make something of it. Tony trying to link up there with Mike O'Brien. Instead it is Kilkenny who are digging in more vigorously than ever. Good hoop that time by Ollie Moran on Derek Ling, and everybody piling up to try and win possession. Frantic stuff. Brian Geary getting it back, whipped away by Seamus Hickey, the 19-year-old. This is John Tennyson. Oh, he tapped that in classical style, as if to emphasise the point that he should have been on from the very beginning. Here comes Larkin. Larkin's having a great match. Inside, Brennan blocked down, but it's gone over the bar. Eddie Brennan takes the credit. He's got a goal and 2 points, but a near certain goal was prevented that time by a very quick piece of defending. Watch Seamus Hickey getting across there, and that is a brilliant little block That would have been 3 points, instead it's 1.
Yeah, and Owen Larkin involved again, and we mentioned Peter Lawler. He needs to tighten up as well there. Larkin might have taken a lot of steps there in the build-up, but you know, he's playing fierce well since the start.
3 chances falling Eddie Brennan's way so far. He's taken the ball. Here's John Fitzpatrick running into a block there from Mark Foley. That's away here by Henry Shefflin. Shefflin on his left-hand side, looking at the post, looking at his handiwork, and the crowd applaud.
Sure, that's a brilliant score. If you see the little flick here in the replay, flicked it through, I think it was Geary's legs coming across, made it look so simple, but brilliant skill.
That was an absolutely wonderful piece of hurling.
Yeah, we didn't see the flick there, but it was just a beautiful piece of awareness, knew where he was on the field.
11 attacks so far, Michael. They've taken 9 of them. Once again, it's out of danger from the half-backs to the half-forwards, and this time it's Mark Foley, the left half of Limerick, who takes it. Comfortably taken by Brian Geary, but he was being challenged unfairly, and Seamus Hickey is down with an injury, and straight away the physio and doctor are in there to attend to him. Didn't see what happened. But, it's to the side of the head, as you can see, his ear maybe. Young player, very, very talented young player at that. I can only assume when the ball was in full flight that time, there was a little bit of a clash, Michael.
Yeah, I didn't see it. It seemed to be after the ball.
Yeah, they were both racing for it there, himself and Eddie Brennan. Not an awful lot in it, you would have thought, from the angle we saw.
It looked accidental, in fairness.
Brian Geary to take this. Just outside the 65-minute line, as you can see. And there's going to be a change. Willie O'Dwyer, who hasn't really made an impact, is going to be replaced by Richie Power. So Kilkenny are forced to make 2 changes. They have a lead of, well, a fair old lead at this stage. That's 8 points the margin. And a chance for Limerick to try and eat into it, not with this particular effort by Brian Geary.
Yeah, and those ones are crucial ones, Jerry. You know, Shawnee McMahon, I suppose, you know, the last great 65 taker in here in Croke Park, or long range 3 taker, scoring 5 or 6 in every game. You need to be putting them over against the likes of Kilkenny.
Well, 2 of the so-called impact subs have been used early on, but it is working very well for Kilkenny. They have this wonderfully gifted, wonderfully talented panel of players. Henry Shefflin protesting. And I think the linesman, Michael Wadding's going to throw the ball in.
You'd have to say Limerick seem to be getting a few breaks there with frees and line balls as well. You know, they need them all at this stage.
They need absolutely everything going their way, but instead they're facing the peril of Eddie Brennan once again, slipping it inside to Derek Ling, running into a challenge there from Peter Lawler, and it's out of danger in the end by Seamus Hickey. Limerick trying to win some decent ball at the half-forward line. Hasn't been easy for them. Andrew O'Shaughnessy only 1 point so far. That was from a free. Into Donny Ryan, he hasn't got anything. Running this way and that like a rag doll, being thrust around the place, and in comes Mike Fitzgerald off his left-hand side. He fires it over. That's a good score. An awful lot of hard work was involved in that. Donny Ryan bundled around the place here, getting away from Jackie Turrell, slipping the little hand pass outside, and a good score.
Yeah, and Jerry, you have to say the Limerick half back line doing very well. 4 points from play there. Sean O'Connor and Mike Fitz a point each, and Ollie with 2 points. And they're really, even though Kilkenny are catching some good ball, they're causing problems.
First score at 8 minutes for Limerick. Would you be concerned about the lack of scoring from Shaughnessy, Begley and Ryan? The goal threat, there's none so far.
Shaughnessy's not getting the ball, and now Donny Ryan is way out the field here again now. But Turrell is a big day player too, outstanding last year's final. He's doing well on Shaughnessy.
That's a great catch by Owen Larkin. Makes it look effortless. That is superb. 4 points for Owen Larkin from 4 shots, and Peter Lawler is going to have to really tighten the screw on him very, very quickly.
Yeah, brilliant catcher. But Larkin has been doing this for the last maybe 3 years with James Stephens, and I just had a feeling coming into the final that, you know, there's a huge game in him, and he's absolutely destroying Peter Lawler. Mark Riordan's on the bench. You'd expect him maybe to be coming in soon.
Well, Larkin is a model of consistency this year. Kilkenny couldn't hold on to it. Eddie Brennan, the one who let it slip. Seamus Hickey, the player, is down, and the referee showing the notebook there to Richie Power, ticking him for that. Shake of the head by another man who's a student teacher over in St. Pat's in Drumcondra, and that time it was a frontal charge. That's why the referee decided to issue the notebook. Wasn't shoulder to shoulder, has to be.
Yeah, there wasn't much in it though. He must have got hit awkwardly because he's down with the injury. But people talked about Limerick's physicality and passion coming into it, but you can see it in the Kilkenny players. They're chasing impacts. It's the way they always play, and it's what makes the likes of Shefflin so great, is that he tackles and works so hard for the team. See Richie Powder, he's just after coming in very disappointed not to start, and you're not going to walk out past him either.
Oh, Richie Bennis pacing up and down the sideline. His young 19-year-old quarterback. He's got a clip to the ear. He's got a dig to the chest as well.
Yeah, and Eddie Brendan's got 1-2 as well off him. It's a baptism of fire, but he's a great young player, so he's 19 years of age.
Sun in the eyes of the Kilkenny backs. The Limerick forwards as well, struggling to take it. Comes out towards Donny Ryan, and Mike Fitzgerald in there in the thick of all of that. And the referee again is going to throw it in. Can't blame the surface this year. It's a very, very good playing surface at Croke Park. We have had the rain I mentioned during the minor match, first half of. So it's a little bit greasy, as Tommy Walsh has started brilliantly. This time he is held in possession. It's a tough call. Not an awful lot he could have done about that. He was fairly well bottled up, but the referee giving the free to Limerick. Nice handy one, I'm sure they will feel.
Yeah, Tommy picked it up in a forest of players as usual and trying to burst his way out. He wasn't fouled, he was well held up, but to give a free against him I think is harsh, and I think Limerick have got the benefit of the doubt with a few of those since it started again.
And O'Shaughnessy puts it over the bar, raises another white flag. The margin now is 7 points. They need a big showing from Andrew O'Shaughnessy, the young army man. But 4 minutes to go to half-time. I would anticipate another 2 minutes of injury time to be played. The injury to Noel Hickey went over the hamstring. As last year's man of the match has it, Aidan Fogarty. Well blocked. Richie Power. Back again. Eddie Brennan ominously inside. Dropped there by Owen Larkin. Comes out once again. Martin Comerford this time. And looking for something, getting nothing. The referee keeps the whistle in his hand. Hand passed out by Damien Rail, and Limerick breathe a sigh of relief. Pressure on the Kilkenny halfbacks again. It bounces off O'Shaughnessy's hands. Comes instead there to John Tennyson, the substitute. Outside here as far as Jackie Terrell. Looking around, nobody near him. Can place this one. 2 against 1, however. And the 1 might get it. Aidan Fogarty does so. Trying to take it around Stephen Lucy. Lucy getting back, goal side. Fogarty still. Was there a push? The referee says no. Play on. Comes out to Brian Geary. Challenged there by Martin Comerford. Gets it away down the field. Coming towards it is Ollie Moran. Racing forward. JJ Delaney is after him. Trying to go inside. Ollie Moran letting fly. Listen to the roar. Limerick fans very, very happy with that effort by Ollie Moran. It's his 3rd point. And the gap is down to 6 once again.
Brilliant score by Ollie Moran, but you have to say it was Martin Comerford was fouled up in the square, dragged down by Mark Foley, and then Stephen Lucy went straight over Aidan Fogarty's back. And you have to be fair, just because Kilkenny are 6 or 7 points up, they still, if it's a free, it's a free. The ref can't, it's not the ref's job to keep Limerick in the game.
Correct. That time it's Seamus Hickey. Strong, sturdy stuff coming in from Kilkenny. That's Eddie Brennan looking to add to his own personal tally. The umpires have a little look and say, yes, it's a good point. A goal and 3 by Eddie Brennan, and some of the Kilkenny forwards are absolutely destroying Limerick when given decent possession. 4 shots at the target for Eddie Brennan, a goal and 3 points out of the tally of 2 goals and 9.
Yeah, and Limerick supporters not happy there with Seamus. He's a young player, he's only 19. The physical demands are just huge. Like, it's a huge step up for him, and he's getting hit hard. And obviously Kilkenny have, they have, not saying they've any physical approach, but they have definitely identified him.
This is what happened to him again here. Henry Shefflin coming across, really knocking him off his stride.
Yeah, it was a fair shoulder and their legs got tangled. I think that's why the Limerick crowd are upset, and Hickey's not happy either.
There's always this argument about promoting lads out of minor, 19-year-olds into the senior team. It's a much, much different game.
It is, but he's been outstanding this year. Tommy Walsh has done it, DJ did it, Brian Whelan, Johnny Louis, lots and lads have done it in the past.
Here comes O'Shaughnessy to try and win this, breaking it. Mike O'Brien trying to take it. Coming around there, this is Mike Fitzgerald running into Henry Shefflin. O'Shaughnessy has it, but he's right in the middle of the field. Inside towards Donny Ryan. Ryan trying to turn his man, who is Michael Kavanagh. Still Mike Fitzgerald, this time taking on another opponent, Brian Hogan. And Brian Hogan rolls it up onto the stick confidently and sweeps it away out of defence. Strong, sturdy stuff by Kilkenny. Broken back into the centre of the park. Here's O'Shaughnessy once again. And O'Shaughnessy's come very, very deep indeed. And you'll wonder how much damage he can do to Kilkenny out around the centre of the field. His only scores so far this afternoon have been from 2-pointed frees. And Limerick requiring attention for Mike Fitzgerald once again. Mike from Doon.
Yeah, he got hit hard. Brian Hogan coming out, looked to me shoulder to shoulder, tough stuff. The Limerick crowd aren't happy with it, but it looked a very fair shoulder. This is a big free now for Brian Geary. If he can get it back to 6 points coming up to half time, having been 9 points down. Just watch Fitzgerald out going through here, and Hogan just comes in there shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah, it was shoulder to shoulder.
Oh yeah, nothing wrong with it, yeah.
Brian Geary to take this, centre of the park. We'll be looking out to see how much time is to be added on. And that is going left, and a missed opportunity. 5 wides for Limerick. They had the worst possible starts. Two minutes of additional time, and that I think is just about right. The injury time for Noel Hickey in particular, and that's out over the sideline. That's going to be a line ball. It really is tough, ferocious stuff if you're a young cornerback like Seamus Hickey, but he's settling to the task, got in his shoulder that time. Sent Eddie Brennan out over the line. Mark Foley ready to take this. Limerick behind by 7. Kilkenny with Richie Power here, having had much the better of it for most of the first half. Henry Shefflin couldn't get it by Peter Lawler. Derek Ling in a bit of trouble there. Lawler coming forward. Picked up here by Tommy Walsh. Running into O'Shaughnessy's shoulder. Outside again towards Jackie Tyrrell, last year's captain. All the way forward there. Eddie Brennan in there to challenge. No, Seamus Hickey. And Shefflin could well be in a little bit of difficulty as well, injury-wise, out on the 65-metre line. Kilkenny effectively down to 14 right now as we watch Cha Fitzpatrick. The angle shot across here. Lovely take here by Owen Larkin. Larkin raiding again. Oh, he was trying to link up with the other man with the green helmet, who is Eddie Brennan. He might have taken the score himself. Instead, it's Tommy Welch coming, hitting, and firing it over the bar. Great point by Tommy Welch. Of course, he played in All-Ireland finals up on the forwards, so adding to his impressive tally.
Yeah,
Noland 26 coming into this, Michael.
Yeah, he has an all-star course as a forward and a midfielder and a back, which is unparalleled, probably never to be done again. But I actually think Henry Shefflin could be in a bit of serious bother here. Pure accident there. Peter Lawler just stepped on him, but he seemed to indicate straight away to the sideline that he was in. Oh no, it looks a hamstring as well.
Certainly
He's kind of
does.
felt his hamstring, yeah.
And they've had to change 2 players already. One by choice, one because of injury. Noel Hickey and Willie O'Dwyer from their starting 15. While we have the break here, it is interesting that his team has created 14 scoring chances, and the number of scoring chances created by Limerick, in spite of the fact that they're behind at this stage by 8 points, is exactly the same. Limerick and Kilkenny have created 14 scoring chances per team.
Yeah, the goals are the difference. I'm surprised he just didn't take him off there for a minute or two coming up to half-time and treat the injury.
Well, there's another few seconds to add on to the 2 minutes, you would think, and the referee isn't going to do so. And at the end of that first half, it's Kilkenny who are going in much the happier. They made a blistering start there. You had a goal by Eddie Brennan in the 9th minute. Henry Shefflin with a goal a minute later, adding to the scoring that they've been getting right, left and centre. They've looked impressive in the forward line. Limerick have been trying their level best to get closer to them, but it's a tall order coming into the break for both of these teams. And at half-time in this 119th Guinness All-Ireland hurling final, it is the champions who are looking good. Half-time score here, it's Kilkenny leading by 2 goals and 10 points, Limerick 8 points. Henry is having to sit it out, as you just saw there in that quick little shot in the stands. Michael Fennelly is in, so too is Niall Moran in the yellow helmet. There he is, having come into midfield as partner with Donald O'Grady and a substitute for Mike O'Brien. So it's an attendance of 82,127 watching as Limerick have to try and eat their way back into this Kilkenny lead, and it's not going to be easy. Jackie Tyrrell, champions, will be absolutely focused to maintain their advantage. Brian Cody will have laid down the law to somebody like Aidan Fogarty and to Martin Comerford as well. I think you can be sure to get more into it. Damien Rail getting out with that ball. He's fouled as the ball comes away. We've had 2 yellow cards. One you may remember on the park, Brian Geary, and the other was dished out to Noel Hickey as he was leaving the action. And straight away here, Cha Fitzpatrick has been spoken to. And there you are, another yellow card, a second for a Kilkenny player.
Yeah, Jerry, I don't think you can underestimate the loss of, Shefflin and Noel Hickey are 2 of the great players in the game. They're just not 2 ordinary players. They're 2 of the top players probably we've ever seen in the game of hurling, and 2 Kilkenny greats. And it has to give Limerick heart. If they get the first couple of scores of the second half, missing players like that is going to run through the Kilkenny team. It's going to affect them.
Having said that, if Limerick were to come back from 8 points adrift at half-time playing against the champions, it would be some recovery.
It would. It'd be a bit of a miracle, but they have happened before. But I'm just saying, Shefflin is a huge loss. He's a leader, and Hickey is on the other end of the field. And this is a big one now for Shocks.
He's got 2 in the first half from the middle of the park. Needs to be accurate, and it is. Very good piece of judgment. So a tonic start for Limerick to the second half.
Jerry, you'd wonder, there was 2 frees from that area in the first half, and Brian Geary took them and kind of lobbed them. You'd wonder why Shocks is not coming out and striking them.
That might have been a change in the plan for the second 35 minutes.
Yeah, and he's out in the wing as well now on JJ Glennie, hoping to get him into the game more.
Geary had missed 2 long-range frees during the first half. Aidan Fogarty out over the sideline. Line ball once again to the Shannon Siders. The men from the Treaty City there. And it's going to be Peter Lawler who will take this. In front of the watchful eye there of Brian Cody. One of the most successful managers, just after for the Tommy Marr ever for Kilkenny. There's Niall Moran. Second shot by Limerick in the half. And the second point. Maybe the recovery is starting. Kilkenny minus the inspiration of Henry Shefflin and Noel Hickey at this stage. Watching as Niall Moran gets it on the right-hand side and drives it a good 50 metres over the bar. All of a sudden, 6 between them.
Yeah, great score by Niall Moran. And he's that type of player. He's capable of scoring 3-4 points and a half, and sometimes he can be out of game, so that's going to give him the world of confidence as well.
Referee to throw the ball in once more. Niall Moran going in there with Richie Power, 2 substitutes. That's Shawnee O'Connor out as far as Mark Foley. This is collected here by John Tennyson. Back down once again towards the inside forwards. Brian Geary looking for a support player. That's Seamus Hickey. Up towards Ollie Moran, misses it. Runs on towards Mike Fitzgerald instead. JJ Delaney stays off him. Tantalising ball in, gathered in well by PJ Ryan. Hand passed outside to Jackie Tyrrell. Way down into the inside forwards once again towards Martin Comerford. And looking for a much better second half. Dragged around, wins the first free for Kilkenny in this half. And a chance for them to get a point on the board immediately, just to remind Limerick of who have been the masters so far in this All-Ireland final.
Yeah, and Martin Comerford, quiet first half by his standards, but he'll know he has to step up to the mark, with Shefflin particularly gone, and Comerford has been outstanding in their All-Ireland finals over the last 7-8 years, and great ball for him to win there now again.
An easy one, you would think, for Richie Power. And it is an easy one. First of the day. So Limerick got 2 points at the start, and now Kilkenny with their first point of the half as well. And it's 2-11 for Kilkenny, 10 points for Limerick. Brian Murray directing his puck out straight down the middle. Donny Ryan and Ollie Moran coming to challenge that time. But it's Michael Fennelly, the substitute at half-time, who wins possession. Let's go down to the sideline for some news. Marty Morrissey.
Thanks a million, Chair. Just a word on the Kilkenny injury at half-time. Not good, I'm afraid. I was talking to Pat Dunphy, the County Secretary, and there is a suspicion that Henry Shefflin's injury is cruciate, and that would be a huge blow, not alone to Henry Shefflin personally, but indeed to Kilkenny for some time.
Absolutely. Thank you, Marty. Shaw Fitzpatrick. They look at it inside. The umpires have a good view as well, and it's gone wide. Shaw hasn't scored so far in this match. Young Player of the Year last year. He's won just about every honour. Hard to come back to that level, that standard, the year afterwards, but he's done pretty well.
Yeah, that's terrible news about Shefflin. You know, such an innocuous challenge, and you know, we wish him well. Hopefully he won't be out for too long.
Well, it's a horrible injury. Niall Moran coming in. John Tennyson getting the ball away. Collected here by Brian Geary. Back defiantly once again into his forwards. Brian Begley coming, motioning towards it, getting it, breaking it down for Ollie Moran, staying on his feet, running into the challenge of Tommy Welch, trying to dish the ball out, but he only gives it to Shaw Fitzpatrick, and Fitzpatrick has options, and they get the ball away down the field once again. Bit of holding in there. The referee's about 40 metres away, but spotted it. And Brian Geary in some difficulty there, doing the marking job. He's been yellow carded from the first half, so he has to be really, really careful. He's after, it's a ticking this time for Stephen Lucy. Free to Kilkenny. Richie Power got the last one. This a good deal further out, just outside the 45-metre line, however, but should be pretty routine by Richie Power's standards. There's the angle, straight as a die. 2 from 2 for Richie Power. Young Kilkenny fans delighted, spotting themselves up on the big screens. And so, as you were at half-time, Kilkenny once again 8 points to the good. Mark Foley collecting that short puck out, and he hits it and hits it too far, and there was nothing that Shaughnessy could do about it. Limerick's game plan is not working. They got a wretched start. Every time you go out against Kilkenny, you say to the team opposing them, don't give away an early goal to the Cats. Happened in the Leinster final. Richie Power is certain to have said that. But they've been a bit disjointed. The gaps between half-back and full-back. You would have thought that Limerick would have contracted the play into the centre. Kilkenny now trying to open it out to the wings again, where they're gaining an advantage. Larkin, dispossessed, still in play. Rail keeping it in. Kilkenny eagerly going back for it again. Taken up this time by Martin Comerford. Dropped inside to a dangerous and waiting player. That was Aidan Fogarty, but it's stopped by Brian Murray and away by the goalkeeper. Down the centre. John Tennyson rises. That's a great catch by Tennyson. He's a terrific centre half back. Shaw Fitzpatrick to Richie Power. Motoring well. Oh, good little challenge that time by Donny Ryan, who's out around the middle of the park as a third midfielder. Here's Michael Fennelly, hooked by Donny Ryan. Back out again once more. Here's an opportunity. Shaw is hitting it, and that ball has gone to the right, and it's gone wide.
Yeah, and that's great defending by Limerick, and that's what they need, disciplined defending. Like, they gave away 2 frees there, got back to 6 points. They can't do that against Kilkenny, but that's great tackling there. Peter Lawler, Donny Ryan helping out there, and Mark Foley all working hard there.
Well, the spirit is willing, no doubt about that. Let's see if the flesh can actually produce the winning performance. This is towards Mike Fitzgerald. Beats him. John Tennyson. Snappily back. Only as far as Peter Lawler. Nobody on him. Up as far as Ollie Moran. Lobbed in. Should be Michael Cavanagh. Is aware of the would-be hook that time from Shawnee O'Connor. Got it out as far as Shaw Fitzpatrick. Dodging around Niall Moran. Has a support player outside. That support player is Tommy Walsh. Lobbing it, trying to measure it into the inside forwards. Comerford comes, takes it down. Lucy trying to get that ball away. Still Lucy, did well. Up as far as Mark Foley. Foley, tigerously taking it away. Foul there by Richie Power, and that's going to be a free to Limerick. Kilkenny are going to give them absolutely nothing lightly. They were expecting Limerick to come out full blast for the second half, but they're trying to bottle up the half-backs, the full-backs, anybody at all. They're going to give absolutely nothing easily or lightly. Yeah. This is a championship the Cats want to win.
Just a little
big time.
Shefflin and Andrew Shaughnessy now tied on 48 points each for the championship. Obviously Henry is gone now, so Shaughnessy just needs one more score to be this year's top scorer in the championship.
Indeed. Jackie Turrell fouled. Donny Ryan is in the middle of the park. He's as a third midfielder. Nobody's gone out to mark him, so he has a lot of freedom. Shawnee O'Connor been taken off as we watch this in reprise once again. James O'Brien, tall figure, the number 22 from Brewery, the county champions, coming on in place of Shawnee O'Connor. Hit down once again, taken by Owen Larkin. 4 points in the first half. It was a very good return, not a good return that time, however. Just put under a little bit of pressure. Just got the feeling Limerick came into the match too nervous, too tense, hoping to do their bit for the fans who'd come here in their thousands. But Brian Cody's team, well focused, well drilled. They've been through it all before. John Tennyson coming up, but this time it's caught brilliantly by Ollie Moran off his left-hand side, inside towards Brian Begley. Needs to break a ball or two, and he breaks it as far as Michael Kavanagh, and they work it out to Tommy Walsh. Inside towards Eddie Brennan. What a catch! And Brennan is off once again, like a man in an egg and spoon race. Taken down, and off he goes once again, and the referee blows his whistle somewhat belatedly, having given Brennan the benefit of the doubt. It's got to be a free in for Kilkenny.
Yeah, this man is on fire today. What a catch. You know, and the minute he gets it in, he's on the ground, he's heading for the goals. You know, in full flight, he's a brilliant player, and just seeing there straight down the middle, and he's fouled here by Stephen Lucy coming across. Great play there by Eddie Brennan.
So up steps Richie Power once again.
Yeah, but the high ball is not working, you know, into Begley. That's their only tactic, puck it in high, and they're over pucking it or under pucking it. And Brian Hogan is 6'5", you know, he's not going to be caught on too many high balls. They have to start trying to play shots into the game.
Bit of variety needed. Nothing varied about the way Richie hits them, straight over the bar, effortlessly. Good striker. And it's 2-13 to 10 points. And it's more or less what an awful lot of people felt in the build-up to this final, that Kilkenny were going to have too much for Limerick. Damien Rail in towards Begley again, runs on this time to Wally Moran. They need a goal, and he's got it! In the 47th minute, exactly what the game has required. The margin is down to 6 points again, and Ollie Moran, who's been playing for Limerick for 10 years, in there at the end of this. Begley may have just got a touch to it. Moran was anticipating, and that was a rasping shot and a brilliant finish. Wonderful goal by Ollie Moran. That's exactly what we've required here. His 5th ever goal in the championship. But what a goal, and what a time to get it.
Yeah, Jared, brilliant anticipation. You know, you can see him looking when the high ball's coming in. He knew there was space behind. He took the chance, and he has been the one Limerick player who's really taken the game to Kilkenny. And 1-3 now. He's made sure of his all-star. Can he bring Limerick back into the game?
If that doesn't lift them, nothing will. Derek Ling, however, and conversely, it could well be that Kilkenny will take their signal from that to up the ante even more. Owen Larkin hasn't scored in the second half, bundled over there, and the referee blows his whistle. And the Riro and Ruila Buila continues over on the far side. And Limerick fans are jubilant at this particular stage. A bit premature, but at least they're now getting their money's worth, or at least that's what they would think.
Yeah.
This was the shot again. As it crashes into the back of the net, Richie Bennis was thinking about a change, and he's about to bring on Pat Tobin, and Mike Fitzgerald from Doon is going off. Here comes Donny Ryan. There may have been people from Limerick thinking about going for their cars. Not just yet. There's still a match to be determined and a final to be won. Jackie Tyrrell way down the field. Hickey's under it. Brilliantly taken. Now he's growing of age and coming more and more into the game. Limerick with another free.
Jaron, one thing that can't be questioned is Limerick's heart. You know, there were 9 points down after 10 minutes, 2-3 to no score. They came back to 6 points and came back to 6 again and went 9 down and back to 6 again now. And it can't be questioned, but they need to keep their heads now, keep the ball in play, don't do anything stupid, and make Kilkenny work for it. Well,
if the fans could do it, they would. They're trying their best as Mark Foley floats it in. Begley is going. Tobin, the latest to come off the line of substitutes, and back helping out Cha Fitzpatrick. Big one down to the centre of the park. One here by Richie Power. Kilkenny will hope to stay nice and cool, nice and calm, while retaining their sense of determination. That runs away to Stephen Lucy, chased by Owen Larkin. Mark Foley keeps it in play, settles himself, lobs it forward again, drives it to the right, wasted opportunity, and really he should have played it in a little bit lower, a bit shorter. He has to give the inside forwards a better chance.
Yeah, it's got to 6 points. They need to get to 5 or 4, and that's twice Mark Foley now in the second half. He's playing very well, but you have to use that ball and keep it in play. I just get the feeling Kilkenny are gone a bit lackadaisical. They're tipping around up front, but they don't look like. I think they're there for the taking. They're going to get another couple of scores.
Richie Parr back out to Tommy Walsh. He got a point earlier on, and Tommy Walsh has got another. A most amazing player, comfortable in so many different positions. Winner of an All-Star as a half-back, midfielder, half-forward. Look, nobody on him, just settled his feet. Good wrists, good hands, great fluency.
Brilliant score, Jeremy. Richie Power dropped his hurl in the build-up to it. I think he should have been free the other way.
Tony Ryan is still out around the middle of the park as a third midfielder. Jackie Turrell, left corner back, angling this one across. Taken by Fogarty, when it might have run on to Eddie Brennan, and it's won by Damien Rail for Limerick. Big one forward towards Pat Tobin once again. He catches a beauty ahead of Michael Kavanagh and then runs into Tommy Welch, and the referee blows his whistle. Now, was it accidental? Because when he turned into Tommy Welch, I'm not sure that Tommy, or indeed the Limerick player, knew an awful lot about it. But the referee has signalled a free into Limerick, and they'll take anything that is going. Was the stick a little bit loose?
I don't think it's a good tackle. Comes in and goes for the ball. Came down his shoulder, okay, but he was going for the ball.
Well, what the referee saw was the stick coming down on the shoulder,
Yeah.
Michael.
Pat Tobin made the most, and he did well. He did what he had to do.
Andrew O'Shaughnessy, 3 points. Bad angle for him, but he's done really well. And it's a 4th point for O'Shaughnessy. All of the scores coming from frees, and the margin is still 6 points.
50 minutes gone, no score from the Limerick full forward line, which is, at this level you need scores from your inside line, and I think that, they'll need another goal.
Tony Ryan, back, collecting, foraging, running into Michael Fennelly, and he, under pressure, gives the ball away to Derek Ling, the man from Emeralds in Urlingford. Good ball inside, putting a bit of pressure on. Comes out to Damien Rail. Oh, loose ball, only as far as James Chaff Fitzpatrick from 45 metres out, and that is over. Great score by Cha. Kilkenny fans much happier now, having made a very good recovery following that Ollie Moran goal after 47 minutes. Really good strike by the midfielder.
Yeah, he's a class player, and watch him now coming more into the game as it loosens up. He could end up with 2 or 3 more scores.
Again, ball being overhit into the Kilkenny inside line, and the back sweeping it up, and Jackie Turrell sending it back down again. Aidan Fogarty this time, and he's got a point. Last year's man of the match with 1-3, a point this afternoon, but all of a sudden they have blown out a decent margin of 8 points once again, as you were at half-time. Well, now, is Richie any more answers, you would wonder, because like a magician, he has produced rabbits out of hats all through the championship. Needs another rabbit or two. Are there any more tricks? Niall Moran, he was one of the substitutes brought on. Back out here to Donal O'Grady. He's got a point earlier on, and he's got another one here. Good score by Donal O'Grady. One of the unsung heroes in this Limerick team, from Niall Moran's hand pass, beat the block and took his chance really well.
Yeah, he's been very, very effective today and all through the season. As you say, a very underrated player, but had a better of maybe Derek Ling in the first half, and doing very well now in the second half on Michael Fennelly.
Well, have Limerick flattered only to deceive? Can they get back in, as you said earlier, Michael? Can they bring that lead down to 5, maybe 4 points? Mark Foley would like to think so. It's 2 against 1 because Donny Ryan's out of position, and hitting that ball in means that Jackie Turrell is mopping it up. Under a bit of pressure now from Begley, and the referee gives Limerick another free from just around 20 metres out. Those balls going in there, you would think, are misdirected, but somehow they've worked out.
Jackie Turrell was too casual there, though. Ger won the ball and had loads of time to get it away, and I think he just threw it out and outside him, and that's what the free was given for.
The frees awarded so far, Michael, are interesting. 15 frees have been awarded to Limerick, only 5 to Kilkenny.
Yeah, well, it was 10-2 at half-time, and I think in fairness in the second half, I think the decisions have been mainly right, but I thought in the first half certainly Kilkenny were hard done by on 3 or 4 occasions.
It's Andrew O'Shaughnessy who will take it. You'd never think about a goal from this angle, would he?
Well, he has a rocket of a shot, maybe it'd be worth going for like Johnny Dooley in '94.
He's got to have a go, and it's saved! And it's saved brilliantly, and I think it's JJ Delaney. It is JJ. Got his stick to it. Wonderful stop. That would have brought Limerick right back into it again. But Kilkenny are defiant, ruthlessly efficient as ever, wonderfully skillful. O'Shaughnessy's drive from the 20-metre line, deflected out by the number 7. A wonderful save.
Yeah,
they were willing it in.
It was a great shot, Jar, and he was right to, I think he was right to go for it. Like, he has a 65 now. If he scores this, it's the same difference.
Little or no breeze around today, and O'Shaughnessy puts it to the left. And the minutes are counting down. There are 21 minutes gone in the second half, and that's a total of 8 wides so far for Limerick. The mist is coming in from the bay in the distance, I can tell you. Prodded on by Derek Ling, on as far as Martin Comerford, hasn't scored today. Again, Shaw Fitzpatrick bursting forward. Derek Ling, he'd love to score also. And Derek Ling has put it to the left-hand side. He was challenged late, by the way, after he played that ball away. No free given. Let's watch it again here. He was coming in and there was a little push. There you go. Referee didn't take any action. Kilkenny would have certain thoughts in their own head about the way the game is developing and frees being awarded and so on. Tony Ryan fouled in possession, some 30 metres out from goal. That time it's Jackie Tyrrell, the guilty party. Jackie, one of those players to have captained All-Ireland senior and under-21 teams, as O'Shaughnessy puts this one over the bar. No fuss, no great difficulty either. His 5th point of the match.
Yeah, and Limerick are gone orthodox now. Donny Ryan has gone back in from the third midfielder. I think that's the way you have to play Kilkenny.
There was nothing gained by him being out in the centre.
No, you have to play Kilkenny under merits. Going out the field is fine. You'll win a bit of loose ball, but you won't make any impact inside.
Not alone has he got in inside forward. He's gone off. He's been taken off and replaced now by Kevin Tobin. So 29 is on. The two Tobins in to lend their considerable experience.
But Jerry, you hear a lot about maybe out physical Kilkenny and all that. You have to go out and out hurling man for man in each position. If you want to beat Kilkenny, that's all you can do, and that's what you have to do if you're going to beat them.
And that's what Tommy Walsh is doing, exactly as you say it there.
Go out and play every ball in its merits and play your man.
Good play. Back in again towards Pat Tobin, but again it is Michael Kavanagh this time. Shaw Fitzpatrick now. Should be and is Mark Foley's, and he lets it slip down. Derek Ling in to help out. Here comes Pat Tobin. Into the inside forward line once again. They look for some breaks. Kevin Tobin unable to take it. Instead it is Michael Fennelly from his own 45-metre line. And Kilkenny and their fans will feel that a large part of the job has now been done, and it's just a case of hanging on in there with about 11 and a half minutes still to go, and the title should be theirs. Well, the referee's been busy throwing the ball in. By our calculations, that's the 5th time he's had to throw the ball in. And Stephen Lucy coming out. Hands and knees job by Stephen. So, referee called into action again. The referee, of course, Diarmuid Kerwin from Cork, and his dad, Jerry, refereed the 1988 final between Galway and Tipperary. Looking on, no doubt, as that ball is given away hopelessly by Niall Moran to Tommy Walsh. And that's an awful ball from Tommy Welch, non-typical error. And it's back into the mix once again in there. Brian Begley hasn't scored in this game. Michael Kavanagh, wonderful play by Kavanagh, playing in his 8th All-Ireland final. He's won 4 so far, looking to win a 5th this afternoon. Niall Moran, there looked to be a drag back there and a foul. No free given. Pressure on. Shaughnessy there. Kicking. Saved. And it's gone out over the end line. It's a 65. And Andrew O'Shaughnessy auditioning for the Limerick football team, taking his chance. This is where he lost the stick, had to let fly, and a good stop just before it could reach the goalkeeper.
Jackie Turrell blocked it and Shocks did well, but to me there was another blatant free out the field there. Char Fitzpatrick, or was it Richie Power, held back out the field, and
should have been a free at that.
It should have been a free, yeah. Like that's, I think that's 2 or 3 crucial ones, and Limerick have scored a couple of times as a result of that.
Andrew O'Shaughnessy now taking this latest free. Richie Venice watching the rain descending once again. They need to maintain their charge and hope for the best, and that's what Andrew O'Shaughnessy is doing. You never know. It's down to a 5-point game. It's as tight as it's been for some time.
Well, since the first 5 minutes, sure, and that's what they need, and they need to knock on another one out fairly quickly. They're playing well, they're not giving up, and they're making Kilkenny work all the way.
Plus injury time, you would imagine there's going to be about 12 minutes of hurling left. Michael Fennelly doesn't know where the ball's gone. Limerick have it, and they have it back once again there to Kevin Tobin, and PJ Ryan, very secure, playing in his first final, did well. Away there by Brian Hogan, now at full-back, remember. Difficulty there for JJ Delaney keeping it in play, and the linesman has been waving his flag. Did the ball go over?
No.
That's the crucial thing.
It didn't go over, no, it was on the line now. Everything is going Limerick's way, and they have to make the most of it.
Barry Kelly is the linesman. Once again, that ball was... The whole of the ball was hardly over, but Barry Kelly decided it was, and that ball from the resultant piece of action has gone wide. Niall Moran the one with the opportunity, and some of the fans making their way off. Well, it is very, very damp, and they're getting wet, and they're probably reckoning it's Kilkenny's. Still 8 minutes to go.
A lot can happen in 8 minutes, sure. This game is not over at all yet.
This is Niall Moran once again, keeping it away from Owen Larkin, who hasn't scored in the second half. Eddie Brennan had a very good first half. We haven't seen a lot of him either. We've seen plenty of Richie Power, mostly from frees, now from play, and that is a beauty. 4 shots for Richie Power, the first 3 from frees, this from play. Little hand pass delivered to him by Derek Ling, set up on a plate for him. Beautiful strike.
Yeah, that's a big difference today. Kilkenny seem to get these scores a little bit easier. Limerick have to work so hard for every score. That's a beautiful point. Great teamwork there.
One they needed as well, I think, Michael. First score in 9 minutes. Begley knocking it into space. Really, they're hit and hoping at this stage. PJ Ryan, the craftier Kilkenny, holding the aces in key positions. Limerick are willing, but there's a certain amount of disjointed play.
Yeah, there is, but Kilkenny had needed Michael Kavanagh to me, been absolutely outstanding. His experience has been vital at cornerback. They're a little bit disjointed themselves, Kilkenny, and doing a few uncharacteristic things.
Niall Moran driving it in, and he's put the ball wide. Well, they always say if you're gonna have a go, make sure you put it over the bar. Yeah. Brian Cody would look to have masterminded another Kilkenny victory.
Yeah, I think when Limerick look back at this, if they go on to lose it, a lot of silly ball into their full forward line. They're giving them no chance to play in front of their men.
Oh, Michael Fennelly there contesting with Donal O'Grady, and it's Niall Moran again. He's giving it everything, but will it stay in play? It will, and O'Shaughnessy couldn't quite prod it home. It was a teasing ball in there. One for O'Shaughnessy, just to get it a hurley to and knock it away past PJ Ryan.
I don't know what was Anthony Daly called them lotto balls earlier on in the year, like they're Hail Mary balls, pucking them in, hoping for the best all the time. You have to have options to your game. There's no point pucking every ball in. The odd one is grand, but I think that's 5 or 6 in this game that have really gone astray.
Here's Eddie Brennan. Great first half. That sails over again. Beautiful strike. Excellent score by Eddie Brennan. A goal and 4 points. 5 shots he's taken. Watch him again here. And that's right over the bar. 5 from 5.
I think Kilkenny have been guilty in the second half of not playing him enough. Really, I think that's the first ball that's come in front of him in the second half.
That's JJ Delaney. Jackie Turrell breaks away off Richie Power's stick. Coming in for it, Damien Rail couldn't quite keep it in play. In fact, it's Stephen Lucy who was going for it. Line ball to Kilkenny. A Kilkenny side having to play the second half without Henry Shefflin. A lot of the game without Noel Hickey. Various other changes been contemplated, but they hold the aces. They're 7 points in front. Just over 5 minutes to go. Brian Geary has lost his stick. Have Limerick lost their way? Was that out over the sideline from Derek Ling? Line ball to Limerick. Well, I remember Tom Ryan, the Limerick manager, saying after 1996 when they lost to Wexford, we had a lot of chances that day, but we just didn't take them.
Yeah, I think a lot of credit to the Kilkenny full backline. You know, they've been outstanding. Michael Kavanagh and Brian Hogan since he went back there, Hickey before that, and Jackie Turl, no score from play from the Limerick full forward line, you know, which says a bit about the supply, but also a lot about Kilkenny's defence.
Kilkenny taking care with every pass out of defence to Eddie Brennan, who takes maximum care as well, but might have needed an extra second or two. The angle was a tight one for him. First miss of the day for Eddie Brennan, one of the game's stars. Brian Murray beaten twice in the first 10 minutes. The most horrible start. And after that, Limerick were always playing catch-up. Never really had a decent enough chance. Got it back to 5 minutes about 5 minutes ago. Still they battle, still they try. Tommy Walsh now. Eddie Brennan holding onto it well. Lovely little hand pass down towards Martin Comerford. First touch, second touch. Oh, then runs into the shoulder of Peter Lawler, trying to get the ball away. Comerford persistent, hasn't scored in the match, having a go. And it lands just to the right-hand side. 8 wides for Kilkenny this afternoon. No points for Martin Comerford. Just one of those days, but he'll end up, you imagine, with an All-Ireland medal. Well, it's turned into another miserable day on All-Ireland final day for Limerick, it seems, with 7 points between them. And Peter Lawler now requiring the attention of the physio, Barry Heffernan. Losing in the final to Kilkenny back in 1974, a long time ago. Then losing in more recent years again on a few occasions. Gary Kirby just helping Peter Lawler off. Mark O'Riordan will come on to replace him. Well, to give Peter Lawler a good deal of credit, he was up against a bang-in form Owen Larkin in the first half, and Larkin got him for 4 points. Lawler caught a couple of really good balls in the air. He came back, he added his commendable strength and talent to this Limerick effort this year, and they've done well. They've come from a position where they hadn't won a championship match for about 6 seasons, beat Tipperary, lost in the Munster final, but got it all together again in the All-Ireland series, and they've reached a final that very, very few people thought was likely back at the very beginning of the summer. Kilkenny were always the favourites, and they've justified that favouritism. Tommy Walsh lobbing it down, picking out Aidan Fogarty, being marked by Damien Rail. Back to Richie Power once again in the 68th minute. Another wasted opportunity. Limerick, it appears, have managed to get to within 5 points at one stage, but unable to get the better of Brian Cody's team. They were overdriving the ball from half-back and midfield from a number of promising situations and giving the inside line very few goal-scoring chances. The best of the goal-scoring chances came from the 20-metre free from Andrew O'Shaughnessy, which was saved on the line by J.J. Delaney. It's like a maze. Eventually emerging from that maze, Pat Tobin. Michael Kavanagh, tidy as ever. All the way back down. Stephen Lucy, needing a second chance. Ball slippery, ground is slippery. Again, it's Mark Foley. John Fitzpatrick going back to try and help out. There as well is John Tennyson. Terrific, dominant figure at centre-half back for much of this game. Here's Aidan Fogarty. Difficult one for Richie Power initially to take. Now nobody near him. Quick look at the target from near the sideline. Willing it over the bar, but it doesn't quite have the legs for that.
Yeah, Kilkenny have a lot of wides in the second half.
2 minutes of additional time will be played.
Yeah, Kilkenny have a lot. You know, the gas thing about it is Kilkenny haven't been at their best. You know, they've done enough to play within themselves, and like losing Noel Hickey and Henry Shefflin, still been very comfortable in the game, and it says a lot about them. They're one of the great teams. I think, you know, they came back lost a couple of All-Irelands. Cork won for 3 in a row. Now they've come out and won 2 themselves, and they've been on the road since '99. A lot of them, and they're, you know, outstanding team.
Well, together with Cork, they have fairly well dominated the last 8-9 years, with one very significant break, of course, for Tipperary in 2001. So we're almost at the end of the 2007 championship. Andrew O'Shaughnessy in added time. Lets it high and lets it over the bar. 7 points his tally, but the margin is still a margin of 6 points, and it's been on or about 5 or 6 for so much of the second half. Kilkenny always able to keep Limerick at arm's length. PJ Ryan won 3 All-Ireland medals, a substitute to James McGarry before this, but he'll be so delighted to have overcome injury in recent weeks with a wrist injury and played in the final. John Tennyson. 1 more minute of stoppage time to be played. Stephen Lucy back there. Oh, missed by James O'Brien. Back by Tommy Walsh. Owen Larkin putting in the challenge. Lucy coming away with it. That's Donal O'Grady. Free taken quickly. Lashed all the way in towards Ollie Moran, one of Limerick's stars today. O'Shaughnessy looking for a late goal, trying to burst his way through, appealing to the referee. Kilkenny standing firm, no way through. Still they persist, and in the end it is JJ Delaney brilliantly away, the left half back. Out there as far as Eddie Brennan, takes it on his hands and knees and steals away once again. Only about 20 seconds to go of the All-Ireland final, and Eddie Brennan isn't finished yet. Limerick would appear to be finished now, however, and Brian Cody there with the county chairman, Ned Quinn, saluting yet another score. Again the pressure on for a late consolation goal. Jackie Tyrrell, the captain in 2006, another All-Ireland medal winner in 2007. The referee's calling for the ball, and it's all over, and Kilkenny have retained their crown. They have won their 30th All-Ireland, and Brian Cody's team, a team of champions, the All-Ireland hurling champions, with Henry Shefflin the captain, the winners in 2007, deservedly so. Limerick did their level best, but it wasn't to be. Kilkenny had a wonderful start, but heartbreak for all of these Limerick players. Damien Rail and all of the rest of them gave their very best effort. James O'Brien, so many others. You have to think of Ollie Moran, a man who finished with a goal and 3 points and finished on the beaten team, but Brian Cody has done it once again. 7th time he has taken a side to the All-Ireland final, and they are champions once again. They are some team. Any team to win an All-Ireland is a good team, and Richie Bennis did all of that a long time ago. He knows that any team that retains the title deserves to be rated a great team, and Kilkenny are a great team.
They are a great team, Ger, and you know, today it was all about their backline. They were outstanding. Owen Larkin in the first half, 4 points, but Eddie Brennan, what a game he had, 1-5, but really their backline today were dominant, their full backline in particular. And Michael Kavanagh has been around for a long time, don't like singling anyone out, but his 9 Leinster medals, I hurled against him many times. He lost his place a couple of years ago, and he came back and he epitomised what Kilkenny hurling is all about. Cool, calm, collected, and absolutely outstanding, along with Jackie Tyrrell and all the rest of the backline and Tennyson coming on. But what an achievement by Kilkenny, and I'm glad to see the stewards have got a bit of sense. I thought for a minute nobody was going to come out in the field, but they were being blocked down at the gates, and at least, you know, there was a few crushes going on, and they've got out now, and great to see.
Well, I can only hope that that cup there, which Henry Shefflin is going to receive from another Kilkenny man, Nicky Brennan, any moment now, I can only hope that the injury that Henry sustained just before half-time is not as serious as was been mentioned during this afternoon, that it could be a cruciate, because he would be out of the game for quite a while if that is the case. What a setting. Let's go down to Marty.
Thank you, Ger. Brian Cody, congratulations first of all, guiding Kilkenny to your 5th All-Ireland title on a personal level. The word awesome comes to my vocabulary. How would you describe this performance?
It was one of our greatest ever wins. I mean, Noel Hickey went off injured early in the game. You know, Hickey is a phenomenal player for us. And then to go in at half-time and discover that Henry Shefflin couldn't play the whole second half would have killed many teams, just about every team, I'd say. But I mean, we've been stressing all the time about the strength of the panel and the inspiration that Henry and Noel gave in the dressing room at half-time. And as well as that, I mean, we had so many reasons to win this game. I mean, this All-Ireland final is without a shadow of a doubt dedicated to James and Darren McGarry and Vanessa. You know, it's the tragedy that struck the whole camp during the year can never be forgotten, and we won't ever be forgotten. But it was a cause for us because James McGarry was such an inspiration to us all his hurling career, and this year probably more than ever. And for Darren and James, we had to deliver this All-Ireland final.
Well, we share those thoughts with you indeed, and James is a friend of all of us. But on this performance, I mean, you really started so brilliantly. Was that the key?
No, I mean, every team wants to start brilliantly if you can at all, but we got early scores. Limerick got them the last day, we got them today. And obviously it's a push in there, no matter how well you play after that, the other team, you're still playing catch-up, you know, and I suppose that was the situation. But, you know, it was a backs to the wall job for the second half. We had to rejig the team, we had to readjust, we had to move players around, players that weren't as familiar in all places they might be at all times. But hurling is about character, it's about guts, it's about genuineness and honesty, and we have it in abundance.
We understand what the motivation obviously was to win this All-Ireland, but at half-time you've lost Noel, you've lost Henry. What do you do? Most other counties would have collapsed.
Yeah, well, I mean, you don't collapse. I mean, everybody wanted to win it for Henry and actually for Noel, but I mean, Henry and Noel wanted them to win it for themselves. I mean, they have adorned the game for years. I mean, you don't, Henry and Noel, they're just our superb players, but you know, we're a team, we're a panel, we're close, we're together, we have spirit, and it came shining through.
In terms of Limerick, they've come a long journey. Any words for them, Brian? Hi, James.
Absolutely. I mean, Limerick have had a phenomenal year. That's no good to them today. I mean, they've lost the All-Ireland final. That's a horrible feeling. But I mean, Limerick have come in a position at the start of the year where nobody expected them to be here. They were here. And I mean, we had to hurl really, really well to win the All-Ireland final. Limerick are a top-class hurling county, always have been. And I mean, this can only be the start of something great for Limerick.
Ryan Cody, congratulations again, well done. Congratulations to Kilkenny. Back to you, Ger.
Thanks indeed, Marty, and a stirring few words there from Brian Cody, speaking from the heart about just how much this has meant. And we got a shot there of James McGarry and young Dara as well, and they've made their way up along the steps with Henry Shefflin to receive the cup. There's Dara. And now Nicky Brennan.
Our son, Diageo Guinness, agus coming low class Gael, Bowal on Fáilte, gone slow more, the Park of Croke gone Tron on the Shaw. Agus Fáilte Specialte, the Michael Macamides, agus the Dino Guinness, agus Fáilte Specialte, the Dina Galair Sawalia, a talk faking there in Telefish, agus the Dina Galair, are folding down, a talk faking there in Clehe New. Bawala McGuikas dan Goyern, as up dan Sar Clehe Dimmersheed in Newey Park and Croke. Cogardic expression, the Minuri, Tiberadorn, Avoan Kate Clehe. Cobron dan a Himrory o Limni. Vi Anna Blin Egon Fern, August the Elaine Dout knock Bake Shiverash on Blin Shockhoin. Cogardic special to the Kilkenny, Orowan Ella is far on Fern is far satir. I want to congratulate both teams on a fantastic game. And to Limerick, you have lost nothing by losing today. You have given immense pride and joy to your county and to hurling in general. I want to say well done to all the players, to Richie Bennis and his backroom team for the wonderful year you have given us, and you can stand proud this evening that you played a great part in a wonderful hurling year. I want to congratulate Kilkenny. Once again, the cream of the crop, without doubt the greatest team around at the moment. And well done to Kilkenny, to Henry Shefflin, to Brian Cody, and all involved with the team. This has been a year of immense difficulty for Kilkenny. And there's one man here beside me that I know, we're so glad he's here with his young son, and that's James McGarry. want to thank the Hurling and the GA people of Ireland for the support they gave James and his family when he experienced such tragic circumstances. James, we were all with you then and we're with you today, and I know the people of Limerick are also with you today. Agus a cordja nish is more than triple on Corden of Runner, our captain Kilkenny, Henry Shefflin.
One Kilkenny man to another. And the Liam McCarthy Cup is going back to Kilkenny, the champions for the 30th time. Henry, Dara and James and all of Kilkenny are celebrating. What a day for them. They win by 219 to 115. A wonderful day for Brian Cody.
A route on the hearing, on T-shirt, agus a route on coming Luke Loscain. Tá an áilsor an current shot Glacka as for Kilkenny! Since I've been a little boy in Ballyhale, I've dreamed of one day doing this. And it's just a privilege for me to be standing here collecting this cup on behalf of the 34 players and management here today with us. So thanks very much, lads, and thanks to all our supporters. As I said, there's a lot of people behind this, so I just want to thank our backroom staff, our dietitians, physios, trainers, doctors, and our kit man, Dennis Rocker Cody. So thanks very much for everyone that has done any work behind the scenes. Thank you. I'd like to thank our sponsors, Avonmore and Glanbia. They've been with us in the last couple of years, and anything we've looked for, we've got. So thanks very much for them, and to Guinness, the sponsors of the Hurling Championship. I suppose in Kenny, we're very lucky that we have a county board behind us in Pat Dunphy and Ned Quinn driving the helm. Unfortunately, they're finished this year, but they've been absolutely brilliant to us since they came in. And I'd just like to say, lads, you've led us to a successful period and left Kenny Hurling in a great state. So thanks very much to the county board. I suppose I'd like to thank our two selectors, Martin Fogarty, primary school teacher, and Mick Dempsey, the publican. I said their application because they seem to do nothing else, only be selectors of the Kilkenny hurling team. But I'd just like to say thanks very much for all the effort and the work you put in behind the scenes and the long hours and Langtons with Mr. Cody. I suppose the next man I'm going to speak about is the reason why any of us are up here collecting our Ireland Cups. It's Mr. Brian Cody. There's a lot of things said about great managers and this and that. Brian does nothing, he just does the job. And it's absolutely brilliant, and it's been a privilege for each and every one of us to work with you, Brian. And long may it continue, so thanks very much for all your efforts. I suppose today is a great day of celebration, but unfortunately it's touched with a lot of sadness involved in the Kilkenny panel. James McGarry and Darren McGarry lost Vanessa McGarry tragically in a road accident recently. And I just want to say that James, the reason that we're here today with this Liam McCarthy Cup is because of you and you only. James, James has no all-stars at home, but to us people in Kenny, he's the biggest star of us all, so thanks very much, James, for everything you've done for us. And I'd just like to say that unfortunately Vanessa wasn't here today with us in body, but she's here in spirit, and she's here watching over us, and this cup is dedicated to Vanessa McGarry. I'd just like to thank and a special word for the Limerick Hurling panel and I suppose their supporters as well. It's been an absolutely brilliant summer, and lads, you've been the most important part of it. You've had a brilliant year, and to reach the All-Ireland final is a great testament to yourself for the heart and the courage and the work you've shown. And even today you kept on going until the last minute. Unfortunately, I've been here myself on the losing occasion, and it's never easy, but I know it makes it all the sweeter when you come back and win one. So I just keep saying to the Limerick players and the supporters, just keep going and you get there, there's no doubt about that. I'd like 3 cheers for Limerick. Hip hip. Hip hip. Hip hip. And lastly, I'd just like to say, I stood up here in '99 in my first All-Ireland final, a wet day, and unfortunately I was on the losing end. But 25,000 people turned out in Kilkenny that Monday night to welcome us home. So thanks very much for all the support over the years. I look forward to seeing you in Limerick County tomorrow night.
Well, that was absolutely brilliant there on the part of Henry Shefflin. Didn't forget anybody. And he was certainly a star all through the season.
And Ger, I think isn't it wonderful the way he thought of Vanessa McGarry. At the end of the day, hurling is a sport, but it's real life that he talked about. I think that's fantastic.
And the family of the GAA and the hurling in particular is so important. So Kilkenny are the champions yet again. All the various substitutes who played their part at some point or other. James McGarry lifting the cup now. Man who kept the opponents scoreless in 3 finals. Unique achievement that. And the others coming up as well to share the moment. A panel of 34 in all. James Fitzpatrick, one of those going up without the yellow helmet. And a massive throng of Kilkenny followers who no doubt will be down in Kilkenny City tomorrow night when that McCarthy Cup makes its by now familiar journey back there. Limerick gave as good as they possibly could, but they were up against the champions, stirring champions in 2006 and retaining their title in 2007.
Yeah, Jaron, it's very hard on Limerick, you know, up here in '94, and you know we had a great finish with Offaly against them that year. Came back in '96 to avenge that, and everyone thought they'd beat Wexford, and they didn't. The great Wexford team, and back here again now, and you know they really have great supporters. I used to say it about the Wexford supporters; they're fantastic, but the Limerick supporters are real, true hurling people, and you feel for all them. But there can only be one winner, and you know Kilkenny were, you know, today we're the better team, but Limerick have to, like Waterford, they have to put the shoulder to the wheel and not give up, and that's what makes hurling great. They have to say we're going to come back here and win All-Ireland someday.
Okay, so on this September afternoon, it's Kilkenny were the champions, winning by 7 points. Full-time score, Kilkenny 2 goals and 19 points. Limerick 1 goal and 15.